Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Bob the Builder. He's here to build. We're here to break him down. We get a 4-lander with double authority and a snare. I like the cards, but I don't think we can make it a game off the backs of double authority. Mull. Then we get a 4-lander with a factory, an authority, and an instant synthesizer. I like it. Keep. We'll ship Uthros on down. The Scrylands have a great shot at digging up more ammo, so we'll keep them. Our Scryland shows us a plains on top, and we'll keep it. That's our 4th land for the battlefront we drew. We'll be able to battlefront and make an instant synthesizer. They play out a smelf. We can't smelf what they're cooking, but we'll find out what they tossed in the pot. Our Scryland shows us an island on top. We've got enough lands for now. We'll ship it on down. They tap out to play a Katzroy. He likes golden turkeys and hates turkey sandwiches. Those are some of my favorite, bro. Of course, we draw another land. This turn, our factory outlet comes down and we can set up our battlefront. On top, we have a land and a bounce. We'll send the land on down. We might be able to use the bounce, but let's ship it as well. They warp in a loading zone, an enchantment that enables anything that gets counters, like golden turkeys, or that, an Ouroboros. The space tapworm is going to boost their men. Hang on to your knickerbockers. They send in Katzroy. It gets a boost that takes it up to 15 power. That's a much bigger hit that we would like to take, but not much we can do about it now. Fire in the Ouroboros hole. We're getting double snare out of this. The double removal is perfect. We'll snag their tapeworm and their giant Katzroy. That's their big beef done and dealt with. Only their pumped-up smelf remains, and we have the beginnings of a team. They hit us with a strategic betrayal. It'll take out one of our robot overlords. Losing our grave is not a big deal. We don't use it that much. They follow up with a Surik, a guy that can give them cards when we target their stuff. Amazing. That's another land draw. Shout out to the Shuffler. We'll drop in the Uthros. We still have the 4 mana for an instant synthesizer. In fact, let's go ahead and fire it off. On top, we have a land and a Sawblades. We'll pass on both. Let's try for some real ammo. We have to eventually stop drawing lands. We will send it. Delivery is always free on every order of robot overlords. Damages, bro, damages. They hit us with another strategic betrayal. We'll let the tapped robot overlord go. He did his duty and will recycle his heroic parts, lol. They finally play out their loading zone because that's all that was left to do. We draw a Sawblades, and we'll have to hold what we got. Your go, my bro. They activate their manland, and that will give them 3 attackers. In their mind, 2 men get through for damages, but we know only 1 gets out alive. They send it. It's time for the Sawblades to cut one of these fools in half. We'll take out Surak. Sure, they'll get a card, but they're already mostly tapped, and we're about to take out one of their lands. All right, land, get you some. Sure, the Smelf gets through, but that's only a 3 spot. They play out another Smelf. We know what they're cooking. We draw a bounce, and that can deal with their pumped-up Smelf. We can trade blows. This is a race we can get ahead in easily. Let's send it. They drew a green overlord, and they're playing it out for its full price. For some reason, they don't send it. Maybe the saw blades action from last time has them afraid to pull the trigger. We draw a bay, and we'll play it out. Let's activate it right away, and we'll trade in the saw blades for a helm. Say hello to my little friends. That's a proper robot overlord squad right there. Let's get in there. They give us the GGs. That's too much robot overlord cheese for them. This is Help Me, born in 1987. He likes bows and arrows and has 2 lucky rabbit's feet. We get a 3-lander with a factory, 2 snares, and a foundry. This is perfect. Keep your pants on. Our Scryland shows us an Adagia on top. It is a 4th land, but I think we can do better with more ammo. Let's send it on down. They play out a Smelf, probably another landfall lover. We draw another land anyways, but this turn we'll go with the Foundry. They play out a Dragon Sniper, but we are not playing dragons, so we should be fine. They fire off an Honor. It gives one of their men some performance-enhancing candy. Their Smelf gets the pump, and they send it in. We draw another factory, and we'll play it out. On top, we have a land and a helm. We'll ship the land, but keep the helm. They play out a Sheltered by Ghosts. Nothing can go wrong with that, right? They snag our factory, but that's all right. We have another. We'll play out our snare, and we can snag their sniper. The only sniping it will do will be from inside this cage. Smell you later, bro. On top, we have a pair of lands. We would send both of them on down, but we can use the Verge. That will make it 6 mana, and we can drop in 2 of our artifacts on our next turn. They play out a Space Tapeworm. These things are everywhere now. A worm's gotta eat. They send the Smelf and we'll take the 3 spot. Let's play out our second factory first. That way we'll maximize production and profits. On top we have a land and a bounce. Both would be fine, but we're about to outman and outpower their team. We'll follow up with our snare and we'll snag their tapeworm. Also, say hello to my little friends. They fire off a season and use it to snipe our snares. They'll get their stuff back, but they did nothing to our robot overlords. Kind of a minor oversight. We draw a battlefront, and that could give us an enormous edge on board. More than we have already. That's a 3rd factory. We'll take it and the authority. Making it more difficult for them to block will make them sweat. On top, we have our 4th factory outlet. We'll be able to slash prices so low, it'll be a buy 1 get 3 free fire sale. And as always, delivery is free to their face. Let's send it. They will need to block at least one of our robot overlords. All hail our AI masters. The Dragon Sniper gets out front and takes a hit, but the opponent's face gets smashed for 18. Damages, bro. Damages. They throw down another tapeworm. They gotta eat. They also got a pump, then they send it, including a tapeworm. That's gotta be an oopsie poopsie, bro. What are they gonna block with? We'll smash a couple of their men, the tapeworm and the token. They just run out of here. Maybe they work at Baskin-Robbins. GG's, extra cheese. This is Harakitty. No wait, it's Kitty Kitty. No wait, it's Kirakira. Are you lying? We get a shuffler special with triple 3 steps ahead, a foundry and a helm. It's a lot of nope here. Mull. Then we get a mono white 3-lander with a factory, a bounce, an authority, and a foundry. Keep. We'll send the bounce on down. We have an authority as the better defensive measure. They hit us with a duress. Surely our factory will be sniped right out of our hand. Instead, they take the authority. That's their biggest concern, apparently. We draw a battlefront, which could be huge for us once we get to 4 mana. They hit us with another duress on back-to-back turns. Surely our factory will be sniped right out of our hand. And it was. We'll play out the foundry. If we get a 3-mana artifact that we can sacrifice, we can use the foundry to get our factory back. They play out an annex. Demon Black has adopted some discard, at least this version has. We draw a Sawblades. We would have preferred a 4th land. Anyways, your go, my bro. They drop a land and pass the turn. We get another Sawblades and we'll let them go. They play out a 5th land and unlock the Ritual Chamber. They'll get a meaty 6/6 Demon token, and their card draw now includes a 2-point drain. Amazing. We get a 4th land. We'll fire off one of our battlefronts. Fire in the Demon Hole. This is an awesome pull. We'll take the factory and the snare. We'll snipe their demon token, as they won't get that back when we swap the snare for the factory in our grave. No, wait. They poop it and scoop it. That's GG's. No cheese needed. And we're into Diamond 1. Only 5 more wins, barring any losses. This is Spacely's Sprocket. He brings his wings and his boob armor to the fight. Let's go. We get a 4-lander with a bounce, a battlefront, and a 3 steps ahead. They play out a case of the Uneaten Feast. Life gain confirmed. Our scry land shows us another 3 steps ahead on top. We'll keep it. They play out a Mythic. Surely this is not the deck that got them to Diamond. No way. They play out a Vanguard. That's a life gain staple. There's some real men coming. We draw a snare, and we should try to slow them down. Let's take out their Mythic. Sure, the Vanguard might be the better choice, but let's not have them draw a card when they finally get to blocking with their Mythic. They throw down an Exemplar, an angel that gets bigger when they gain life, and once per turn it will draw them a card when it gets a counter. We hit 4 mana, and we'll fire off our battlefront. Fire in the kitty hole. There is no factory, but we do have some removals. Let's take the snare and the Sawblades. That'll deal with both of their men. They play out a life gain duo and follow up with a life link bat. The life gain train keeps rolling along. They send it, but it's only 2 damages. There's no need to do anything here. Smile and nod, just smile and nod. I was waiting for them to try to play something out, but if nothing else is coming, we'll copy a saw blades and we'll pay the extra for the draw option. Let's see if we can dig up more ammo, and that gets us a factory. We have to toss a card, and I want to keep the land. That will let us play out the factory on our next turn, and we'll have enough for a copy as well. Let's toss a bounce. We've got 3. The saw blades will take out their bat. If we take out the duo, they'd get a scry. Let's not give them a look. They play out another exemplar. If they had tried that last time, we would have countered it. They follow up with a pride mate, and their exemplar and kitty will get bloated. Please limit the consumption of performance-enhancing candies, kids. Just say no. What is this? Turn 7, and we finally get a factory online. On top, we have an authority and a 3 steps ahead. It might already be too late for the authority, but we'll keep the instant synthesizer. They send the team, and we'll make a copy of our snare. We need a way to deal with the exemplar, and this is it. The token will generate our first robot overlord, which will come off the assembly line a bit bigger than their pride mate. Was that the most unfair thing we've done to life gain? Maybe. It's all good, and it's GG's extra token cheese. This is player 56815. That's the number he was given in prison. Don't ask me how I know. We get a 3-lander with a pair of defensive cards, a foundry, and our utility knife. We will have to have this set of cards hold us up while we draw into our business. Kind of iffy, but we'll try it out. Keep your pants on. We do have bounce available, so we'll drop the island first. We'll play out the foundry. Let's see if they have a counter. There is a hitch, but it goes through. Our scryland shows us a verge on top. I do kind of want it, but if we keep it, there could be more lands under it. Let's send it on down. We'll go with the bay. We can turn our 2 drops into factories. There's a holdup. This time they do have a counter. The bay was just too much for them to bear. They tap out to play a Hilda, which is fine. All yours, bro. We'll bounce it on our turn, and they can spend their mana to play it again. Hilariously, we draw an authority. We can play it, bounce their broom Hilda, then when it enters, it'll be tapped for our saw blades. Like clockwork, Broom Hilda returns. With them tapped out, we'll smash. They deduce. Get you some bro. However, which way you can. They even eat their token right away. Most likely they don't have a counter in hand. They're stuck on 4 lands. That's too bad. For them. We'll play out our freshly drawn foundry. Unfortunately, we don't have enough things to give up to get our bay back from the grave. They deduce again. This time, it gets them a 5th land. They were up all night to get lucky. Let's check out what they've dumped in their grave. A lot of creature control and counters. We draw a snare, and that's as good as a factory. We'll play it out to snag their token. I predict they'll use their token to not lose it, and that will tap them out. They do use it. You've outsmarted us, bro. You really, really did. Now we'll use a foundry to get back our bay, the one they countered earlier. We'll activate the bay and sacrifice the saw blades to get ourselves a factory. All those counters, and they can't stop our game plan. On top, we have a pair of lands, but we'll ship them on down. They play out another Broomhilda. You love to see it. Don't say you don't. We'll hit it with bounce at the end of their turn. Let's make them play it again on their next turn. They counter our bounce. Have it, bro. We're going on to make a surprise synthesizer. We'll be able to use the helm to make more copies of the token factory. They realize they outsmarted themselves and gotta go to give out scoops at your local Baskin-Robbins. This is JJG from zip code 32405. That must take a lot of hairspray. We get a shuffler special with double foundry, a snare, a bounce, and a battlefront. The joke is on the shuffler, as the foundry will let us play out our artifacts even with only 2 lands. Keep your pants on. There's only a slight hitch, but we get it. They play out a card-stealing bat, but there's removal and bounce. You take one, we'll use the other. They don't bother with the removal or the bounce. They take the battlefront. We'll drop in our second foundry, then we can play out the snare and snag their bat. It's time for a test. Let's see if they have a counter. We'll go for the helm. This test is brought to you by... Wait, we get it down? Maybe they don't have a counter? They play out a preacher. It's a card advantage guy. We draw a factory, and it is decision time. We could go with the factory, or we could try the battlefront. Which can we afford to have countered? Let's try the battlefront. If they countered this, we have factory backup. There's the counter we suspected. That counter would not have worked on our factory outlet. They fire up their shark land. That's how you know they don't have a counter. If they did have one, they'd have kept it up. They send it, and this will take a bite out of our life total as well as our library. We draw a second helm. If we had a second blue, we would have been able to play out both artifacts. This is a start at least. On top, we have an island, which we could use, and a snare. We have to keep in mind that the shark land will eliminate these cards right off the top of our deck. They activate their shark land once again. We figured they would. And drop in a beast binder as well. Is that like an MTG binder? Or a Poke Your Mom binder? A Yu-Go-Oh binder? We do have a snare in the grave. Unfortunately, to get it back out, we'd have to ditch our helm. It's not an easy decision to make, and even less easy to execute. Cutting down on their men does seem to be the best choice, though. Let's get cracking. They drop in a curiosity. That will turn their men into card draw. They send in their binder. And will bounce their cat right out. For some reason, they don't replay it. It does have flash after all. Oh, I see. They wanted to use a removal on our robot overlord. Sure thing, bro. It's time for the helm to come on down. Unfortunately, we can't copy our robot overlord. We do have a map token that we can use on it, though. If we have any lands on top, we'll draw them out and get business spells. They drop in a drowner. It'll tap down our robot overlord. Luckily, all their men are rather small, and when they play them out, we gain a couple of life, so we're still in double digits. On top, we have a bounce, which is fine when they don't suspect it, but not so great when they see it coming. We'll bounce our bounce. They activate the shark land once again and even follow up with the speedy cat. This is a big hit coming. They milled mostly lands and an authority. It's a Sharkmaz miracle. We get a 3 steps ahead. And it would be easy to copy up the factory, but I think this game requires us to copy something else. We'll make a snare copy instead. Let's work on taking out their board. And we even have enough to make another copy with our helm. They activate their shark land. Do they even know what they're getting into? They send it. Let's give them a chance to put their triggers on the stack. And now we pop off and make another snare. We'll snipe one of their men, and we'll have another robot overlord as a surprise blocker. Let's take their binder, it's the one thing we can't block. The drop in an emergency drowner, which is just fine. They've got a crumbling board, we do not. We'll block the drowner, this is an excellent trade. We're fine taking the hits from their other men. They play out a preacher, even by dropping in a pair of men, they're not going to be able to keep up. Let's start our turn by making another snare. We'll go ahead and swallow up their token. Then we can use the foundry to get back the synthesizer in our grave. We'll be doubling our production, 2 for the price of 1 sale is back. They turned their pants brown. Smell you later, bro. Also, GG's. Extra cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.